So welcome back to another video on the 2001 Mark IV Golf BR6 4Motion, and today we're going to be investigating why the OBD port doesn't work. So the first line of action would be to check the fuse box. So let's go round to the driver's side and have a look at the fuse box and check the fuse. Right, so this is the location of the fuse box in here, and on the inside we have a list of what fuses are what. So I've been on the forums and they're saying it is fuse number 12 that is for your OBD reader, and the OBD port, well, that fuse number 12 was actually blown, and if you were slightly confused, these are reversed. So number 8 would be here. Number 12 is the one that was blown. Then you've got 16, which should be here, and then 20 there. So my mate Matt, the auto electrician from JVS Auto Electrics, he said to check fuses 12, 14 and 34, I think it was. But I've checked every single fuse, and the only fuse was number 12 that was blown, which is that one there. So according to the forums, it could be something to do with a K-Swiss. Now I have no idea what that is, but it's all to do with the aftermarket stereo and a double din and all that kind of stuff. So what I need to do is I need to have a look, see if there's been any wires cut behind. Right, so I need to check the power going to the OBD reader. So they're saying about the K-Swiss, it could be a wire, but I have no idea what I'm doing, because obviously electrics being my nemesis. I could start poking it and putting some probes in and seeing where we got power and if we got power, and yeah, so I'm going to undo that Torx, and I think I may end up having to strip everything down to try and see what's going on with that plug. Oh dear, I don't know, but I'll bring you with me on this journey. Well, I started playing around, taking out a few of the screws and that. Took the ashtray out. I found quite a bit of money in this car so far. There's a pound, there's another pound, a few pounds in there, mate. So, just recording this little bit because I'm just taking this metal bit out. So, this little bit of metal goes across there like that. And then with one of these little pokey things, presses a bit of, there's like a clip either side, so I'll release them clips, that comes out, and now I should be able to remove that whole lower section of the console, and then we can have a look, see what's going on with the wiring underneath. So I have removed that lower centre section of the dash there. That all came out pretty easy, a little bit of a wiggle, but look what I found. We got a go faster button. I've no idea what it's wired into, but I also found down with that little switch is that card. So I don't know whether they've done something in the past. I've no idea, but I can't find any NOS bottles. So it's not NOS. I don't want to press it because I don't know what it's for. Self-detonation button. That would be peak, wouldn't it? Boom! Yeah, that'd be no more videos. So yeah, the plan is to try and get this port reader out, the actual port itself, the OBD port. So if I can try and get that out somehow and then start doing some testing. Also, I'm going to have to try and find out what this is wired into. And I have just received the V5 for it, and apparently there was 11 previous owners. So somewhere along the line, someone's been doing some work on it. It might be because they were quite sought after and used to get stolen quite a lot. It might be something to do with like an immobiliser or something, but I'm not sure. We'll have to investigate that. So I've just removed this plastic fascia around the old climate control, and there's 4 Torx, so we'll remove them, see if we can get this out of the way and see if we can trace where this goes, because at the moment it goes right up. And I just checked on the back of the connection on the OBD port, and the wires, everything going in looks good. Doesn't look like there's been any modifications or cutting on that. So I reckon if we try and chase this, see what's happening with this first, and then we'll carry on with the OBD fault finding. So I'm at the stage, I've removed the climate control. Once I've done those 4 torques, it just pulled out. We removed the stereo. So I used these keys. I've only got one of these Volkswagen keys. I don't know where the other one is, but I do have a normal key as well. So I just slid them in, and yeah, it latched on, and I was able to pull the stereo out. Right. And what I've just noticed is, I can't remember what the chassis number is on this vehicle, but it's not that. That's a different. So this stereo is being replaced anyway. It's not the original stereo. So that makes it interesting. So this seems to have revealed its own issues on the back here. Well, what I've noticed is that switch that comes up. So it's the white and blue wire, and I have no idea what it's for, but there's evidence of burning there. There's a ground here that's not connected to anything at all, which is connected to this thing, which runs to the glove box. So I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. I don't know. Some connect. It says on there what it's got auxiliary in, Bluetooth, and iPod. Yeah, so I'll pull all of that out in a moment. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is well, I don't know, it's dodgy. This has got to be aftermarket, hasn't it, surely? That can't be genuine. So I've got the OBD port reader working. Somehow, just from disconnecting this connector, I disconnected this from the back of the stereo, it was in there. So I pulled it out, and I thought, well, I'll try the OBD reader, because a few people have said on the forums that it's something to do with the K wire or something, a K Swiss wire, I don't know. So I just thought, well, if I unplug this, we'll see what happens. I've unplugged this, and yeah, the OBD reader worked. I've now run a full diagnostic scan through the OBD reader, and it's come up with no faults at all. So happy days. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, because I don't know what this blue and white wire is for going onto this switch. I have no idea. It's got to be something to do with power or something, hasn't it? Or maybe an antenna booster, I don't know. But it goes in to the, yeah, it goes into there, the blue and white. So it's been done, it looks like it's been done proper. It's like wired in properly. But it doesn't look very healthy. So it definitely needs to come out. And I'm just wondering if I just pull this out here, this connector, and then disconnect it from the actual loom here, and then if I can get a Sony one, you know, a CarPlay stereo, and then I don't have to worry about the aerial. We'll just plug this in, plug the speakers in, and then that should be good to go. I don't know, but the stereo is going to have to be replaced, because it's not the original one, and I don't like it, because it's annoying having the sat nav on there and it not actually having a disc, so it's pretty pointless. And the stereo on it itself, the aerial was rubbish. It didn't really pick up a great deal. And the other issue is I can't connect my phone to it to listen to my own music, so I can't listen to Spotify or anything. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to replace this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all of this out, which means all this is going to have to come out. And to remove this, I think we'll have to take the glove box out, and then we'll just bin it. Well, I've just looked through the footage to see what had been filmed and where I was at, and it turned out that it stopped recording halfway through removing the glove box. So that is very annoying. But I've got the glove box out. I've removed all of that wire, and that's all in here. So that's all now removed. Found more money. And many years ago, I lost one of my keys. Someone borrowed them, and yeah, I only got one back. I just found a replacement. Literally just down there was that and more money. So yeah, it obviously pays off stripping the car and cleaning it. But yeah, no, I need to find out what the crack is with this wire now. So since removing all that, I've had a look around, and it's the blue and white wire that comes through, and the blue and white wire on this side, it's doubled up. One of them runs through this switch and then onto the plug, which would then plug into the back of the stereo. And then the other one that runs out through that plug, through that connector, runs down and runs into the back of the stereo. So I have no idea what the crack is with that. So I'm gonna have to get in touch with Matt. I did send Matt a picture of my switch, and he was straight away ejector seat. I was like, yeah, mate. But it is really bad. That's terribly burnt. He said cut it out straight away. Just cut it out. But before I cut it out, I'm going to message him because I'm not sure what it does. But I'll let you know straight away as soon as I spoke to him. So while I'm waiting for Matt to get back to me about what to do with these wires, I thought, as I've got the glove box out, let me just test to make sure that the light works. And this light wasn't working. And it turns out that there's some little springs in here and how it connects. But on these copper bits, you can see it better that side, that spring makes contact on either side when this switch is stationary like this. But this switch was pushed right over, and it was actually locked behind this bit of plastic, so it would never make contact. And then once I did release it, this side here, this brass bit, was actually behind the plastic, so it would never have made contact. Right, so I've gone through. That all now works. The issue is my voltmeter, the batteries have died in it, so I need to get a 9-volt battery to put in there, because for some reason there's no power, by the looks of it, coming to this light at all. So it's actually not working. So although this now works, we've got no power coming to it. So I need to investigate that. And also, what I could do with some help on this one. So down here, I was just having a look around, good old rummage, as you do, because you want to get familiar with the vehicle. And I don't know if you can see, but right there, there's an earth wire that's been cut. And that looks like it's factory loom. But I can't see what that's wired, what it's supposed to go to. What? I mean, if anyone's got one of these Golfs or know anything about it, there's 2 wires that come down through here. One of them goes into this loom here, and yeah, there's been an earth that's been cut off. Interesting. So I'm a bit annoyed because the battery died on my little voltmeter, little tester. But what I'm going to do is I can still put all this back again. I can put all the glove box back in, and I can do these tests later on when I get another battery. So I will. I'll get back to you in a minute when I've spoken to Matt and we know what we're doing here. Right, so I finally spoke to Matt. We were on the phone for quite a while actually, hence why half my car has now been ripped apart, because we were on the phone, we were chatting away, and he said, oh well, what about this, what about that? And then we started investigating more, and he said, yeah, these wires here. So I asked him about this, and he just said, oh, that sounds like a gala wire. And I went, oh right. He said it should stay on the stereo. So on the stereo, right there, gala. I was just like, oh yeah, that's the one that's coming through here. It's the gala wire. And he was just like, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. That's just your speed pulse. He goes, yeah, he goes, it's he goes, I use that for when I'm wiring up meters, taxi meters on Volkswagens. He goes, yeah, you don't need none of that, just rip all of that out. And I was like, oh, happy days. So that's a result. And then I asked him, I was like, yeah, I've got this other black cable, this other black wire That's on the back. But yeah, I don't know what that's on about. I don't know where it's going. He goes, well, trace it out. So I started pulling the wire, and there was loads of slack. And then I traced it, and it went through here, and it goes up through there. And while on the phone to Matt, we were chatting away. He's like, oh, well, look down the other end of the glove box. Does it come through? I was just like, oh, here it is. It comes through here. And I said, oh, it looks like it goes up the A pillar. So I pulled all the A pillar off. And there it is. It goes up the A pillar. And it went up here and up through the headlining. So then I had to drop this down and then put all of the rubber down. And eventually, what I found, the old GPS up here. However, it was upside down up here. Like, it was probably up here somewhere like that. But it was upside down underneath a massive skin of metal. That wouldn't have worked. That would have been useless. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip all of that out. We'll cut this off, get rid of that, bin all that off, and we'll just put the stereo back in for the time being, just to tidy it all up. We'll get the Hoover out, give it all a good clean, because it was all minging and dirty down there. And the aerial, I need to disconnect the aerial, because while I was on the phone to Matt, I don't know if that's off like the, well, I don't know what that's off, but it does say it's Volkswagen. So we had a mooch around up in here. So there's 3 cables that come off it, but only one of them's connected, so they never actually run the GPS wires to it. Because Matt said there should be in the back of the stereo a GPS plug. He said it's a round pin. So I saw that on the sticker and went, oh yeah, there's the round pin. Then I hunted around on the back of the stereo and it was there. So it was never actually wired in. So as nice as it is, a GPS aerial, it doesn't actually work because the wiring was never put in for it. So I'm going to rip all of that out and just put a standard aerial in. We'll get one of them from Silver Lakes, I guess. Might find one on eBay, but the joys. So while we were stripping all this out, I've decided I'm actually going to disconnect this and clean it all up because it's absolutely minging. And then I pulled this bit down and went, oh look, there's a Allen key on the top there. And Matt instantly went, oh yeah, that's for your sunroof. So just in there, if your sunroof ever jams up, packs up, you can just pull that down and just wind it and close it. I thought that was a really good idea. Well done, VW. So like Matt said, he said to just chop it out. Don't need to worry about connecting them back up. So just going to snip it, and the ejector seat is no longer. Well, I have no idea what that was doing. I don't know. But actually, let's just, I know I've cut it flush, but we'll still just tape it up, put a little bit over the end. I haven't got anything to do it properly, but that'll do. Yeah, so I think what the plan is I'm actually going to get a different stereo. What I might do is I might take the stereo out of the van for now, because that does actually have CarPlay. And then it would be nice if I could put the van back to original, because obviously the previous owner has cut the vents on mine to fit the stereo, and I would like to have all my vents back. And then if I'm going to do a double din, then I can think about that later on. But for now, I would like to put the T4 back to original. And that'll be for another time. This tape doesn't seem very sticky. It's just coming off straight away. That's quality, that is, isn't it? I think it might have just been that little bit of tape that didn't have a lot of sticky on it. I don't know. And that'll do for that. We'll chuck that back in. And to be honest with you, I'm not too fussed whether the stereo works or not. I mean, well, it has powered up. Oh, that sounds terrible because the speakers are all blown. It does not sound good. Right, I need to... Yeah, this doesn't fit very well, does it? So it's all back together now. I've got all the dash back together, stereos back in, the climate control units back in, ashtrays in, all the plastics are back in. I do need to empty the glove box because the glove box, well, yeah, I'm just filling it up with all the crap that I found so far, and then I can just sort it out later. But oh, also, after speaking to Matt yesterday, and I said to him about we were talking about the glove box light, and he said, oh, those glove box lights, they're a dickhead, they are. He goes, oh, they're hard work. Once they explode, or once you take them apart, you'll never get them back together again. I don't know how I managed to fix that then. But yeah, so I think I just got lucky. I get lucky with a lot of things, don't I? So we got that working. But when I said to Matt about it, I said, yeah, but I then went to test it, and I'm not getting any power to the light. Matt said, I'm pretty sure the glove box is ignition fed. And I was just like, is it? So, ignition on, and it works. It works. What a result. So, I think I fixed all the electrical issues. Obviously, apart from this micro switch on this door, which hopefully that should be here within a few days, so we can crack on with that soon. But for now, I've got the door card on the passenger side to repair, so I'm going to take that off, get that repaired. Yeah, happy days. I don't know what else there is left to do. I'm just so buzzing. I mean, I've had to, this is another day now, from what you've just seen, because it was dark last night by 6 o'clock, so I had to stop filming. Because obviously the quality gets so bad when it gets darker. But it's all back together, and I think that's where we're going to leave it for now. I'll tell you what, if I go to Silver Lake, I'll bring you with me, and we'll see what they say. Because that's what I need to do. I need to go to Silver Lakes so I can get another mirror, I can get the aerial that I need. I've got a few plastic trims that I need to get. There's a few plastic clips that are missing or broken. So just a few little things that I need to go collect. So I'm going to go give Silver Lakes a ring now, see what they got in stock, and I'll see you next time, hopefully, at Silver Lake. So take care, stay safe, and God bless.